Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents Marvel Monday. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with the Marvel Legends series Build-A-Figure, the Mindless one. Let's get into it! Let's take a look at the assembly for the Build-A-Figure. And here we have the torso piece. And of course there's a blank spot on the back because here is the back. There's posts on here and ports here. And you line those up. Which isn't the easiest to do on camera. And then just give it a good squeeze together. There. And then let's go with the legs next. And you just kind of twist till they get on there good. Same thing for the other leg. Maybe that's all the way in there now. Then for the arms, there's ports here. Arms have a post on them. And you just... I couldn't get it to snap. So let's try it this way. Maybe a little off camera. And here we go. I got one in. And what you have to do is kind of move that peg out. And this one still doesn't want to go in. There we go. I got it. And then for the last piece of the figure himself, there's the port for the head, there's the post, and you know the post is solid, it doesn't really move. And again, I can't get it on there in front of the camera. And there, I got the head on from the Mindless one. It is a bit tight, but I'm sure once you move it around a little bit, it'll loosen up maybe a little bit. But there you go, my friends. That is Build-A-Figure assembly. Well, let's take a look at the Mindless one and his accessories. And first of all, he has this optic blast smoke type piece. He's fired an optic blast, and then this is what wafts off of his eye. And we'll take well, we'll see how it hooks up here in a minute. But as you can see, it's made out of translucent red plastic. It does have some nice molded detail in there, so you can really tell what it is. And then he also has an alternate set of hands, which are fists on in and out hinges. Nice molded detail. And there's 2 of those left and right. Now let's take a look at the figure himself, or the Build-A-Figure himself. And here we have this, you know, I have to say this is really a simple design, and it really does take me back to his appearances in the comics. And I mean, he's just kind of like a molten rock dude with a eye blaster. And you know, they're just set on destruction, but it's, you know, just nice molded detail throughout, and it really does take me to, you know, back to his appearances in the comics, throughout the comics, really. Well, let's take a look at his articulation at the head. And again, like I said before, it's really tight, but he can look up that high. He can look down that low. He doesn't have any chicken neck, and he's got a little bit of waggle in there, but it's hard to get. Like I said, this piece is really tight, but he can do the full exorcist maybe if the head doesn't pop off. Let's get that back on. All right, there we go. And he can do the full exorcist. At the shoulder, not quite 90 degrees. You can't raise it quite 90 degrees. It does have a full 360 degree rotation. Cut here at the upper bicep for another 360 degree rotation. Single hinge and swivel at the elbow. Swivels around 360 degrees. And it gives you not quite 90 degrees worth of bend. 360 degree rotation at the wrist on an in and out hinge, and in and out hinge on the other side as well. Cut where the chest and the abdomen meet, and it gives you all kinds of hula going on there. He can lean back that far. He can lean forward that far, and should be able to get a 360 degree rotation there as well. Yep, sure can. So that's cool. At the hips, gives you that much of the splits, and looks like the leg's coming off. He can kick forward approximately 90 degrees, so that's pretty darn good. And then back, his leg comes off. But back, it looks like maybe a quarter of a step. Then here where the leg goes on, there's a 360 degree rotation there. Single hinge and swivel at the knee, swivels around 360 degrees and gives you that much bend. At the ankles, tilts down that far, tilts forward that far, well, with the knee. So tilts forward that far, not really a whole lot, but he does have forward facing pin for rocker. Now, as far as the eye blast beam goes, or smoke trail, whatever you want to call it, you see it does have some, what's kind of like pins. It just kind of helps hold it into place. And you just put it up to his head and just kind of clip it in, and you can hear it clip in. So there you have it, my friends. There's a look at the Mindless One Build-A-Figure and his accessories. It's time for my favorite part of a review, comparisons. And here in the back, we have the Marvel Legends series Mindless One Build-A-Figure waves, Build-A-Figure of the Mindless One, with, from the Marvel Legends series, Zemnu Villains Build-A-Figure wave, the Dread Dormammu, the Walmart exclusive Marvel Legends series classic Doctor Strange, and the Marvel Legends series Mindless One Build-A-Figure waves Clea. For our final set of comparisons, here we have the Mindless One Build-A-Figure, with our last Marvel Legends series comparison making his cameo appearance, Stan the Man Lee from G.I. Joe Classified series, the Hasbro Pulse exclusive Regal variant Cobra Commander from Star Wars The Black Series, the Archive Edition 501st Legion Clone Trooper, and for a 7-inch scale comparison from the Masters of the Universe Masterverse line, the 40th Anniversary He-Man. For final thoughts on the Marvel Legends series, Mindless One Build-A-Figure Waves Build-A-Figure of the Mindless One, I have to say it was probably wise on Hasbro's part to pick this guy as a Build-A-Figure. And I know a lot of people, well, why not just do a deluxe because it's an army builder? And guess what, folks? Hasbro's probably planning to release this as a deluxe type figure later down the road because they know it's an army builder. But doing it as a Build-A-Figure, you know, they get that tooling cost, you know, into a wave, and then maybe, hopefully, they'll pass that savings on to us, and it'll only be like maybe $30, $35 army builder. For those of you who, you know, want to build an army of mindless ones. And, you know, if you aren't like me and you don't do green screen stuff, then, you know, that's a thing you have to do. But I do green screen, so I can create an army of you know, I can create an army of mindless ones if I need to. And there's also other ways that you can do it with just a single figure. But for those of you who, you know, you like to army build and you like that type of look on your shelf, not just for photography, but, you know, that's the way you like to display it, you know, I'm sure later on we will get a single release of this. So I really don't think that you've missed out on anything if you don't get the wave, but you never know with Hasbro. If the wave doesn't sell well enough, they may say, well, there's not enough interest in Mindless One to do a single carded release. But that is, you know, that's neither here nor there at this point. This particular figure, I do like the sculpt of it. I do like the accessories it comes with, or that are available for it. You know, it has an alternate set of hands, and it has like that red smoke effect or whatever from where he shoots an I-beam and then he stops and then it's drifting up over his head or whatever. I do like that kind of stuff. It's neat, and I'm glad that, you know, the Build-A-Figures are getting a little bit of accessories sometimes. You know, if it's something that the character needs. But, you know, the sculpt on this guy, I do think it's really, you know, it's rocky looking, and that just pop of red for the eye slit. Just, you know, it's a very classic design that it takes me back to those early issues of Strange Tales when Doctor Strange was brought into it. And even his own book, you know, they appeared throughout. Pretty much anytime Doctor Strange went to the Dark Dimension, he encountered at least one mindless one. Usually it was several. At least the way I remember it. But I do like the sculpt on this guy. I do think it's really good. I'm glad to have another of the cast of Doctor Strange in my collection. You know, we still need a comic Wong, which in the current political type climate we probably won't ever see. And, you know, we've finally gotten a Clea. We need a Baron Mordo and an Umar, and those would just be nice additions to like a Doctor Strange subset of Marvel Legends. For me, at least. Might be different for you. You might not be a Doctor Strange fan, so to each their own. Collect how you like, and I will collect how I like, and I don't mean that in a bad way. Everybody has their own preferences, and that's fine. And just because I like something doesn't mean you have to like it, and just because you like something doesn't mean I have to like it. But I like Doctor Strange, and I like when we get new Doctor Strange comic figures, and I want a Wong, and I want a Baron Mordo, and I want a Umar to kind of that would pretty much round it out for me. I mean, there's some others that they could put in, but not very well known past those characters, and even Umar might not be all that well known to the uninitiated in the mystic arts, so to speak. But that does it for the review. I hope that you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view. Thank you, and thank you so very, very much for viewing my content. If you would like to support my content further, I'm now offering memberships at various tiers. Click the join button and see if any membership offerings are right for you. But only if you are in a position to do so. Like, share, subscribe if you would like to see more of my content, or just help the channel out, or both. That's even better. And don't forget to ding that bell so that you will be notified in the future as my new content becomes available. That's our wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.